Did we just witness a leftist domestic terror attack against immigration officials here in the United States? I'm Chris Boyle, and this is The Boiling Point. Okay, so right now everybody is talking about shutdowns, the federal government shutdown, right? We have to worry about the parks being shut down, DMV or something like that. Actually, very few things are going to be shut down. Even the parks are going to remain open this time. No show putting up ropes around the Lincoln Memorial and Washington Monument so people can't go up and take pictures with a statue or a big obelisk. No, this time it will only be non-essential employees who are sent home. Well, what is a non-essential employee? Oh, I remember back during COVID last time around, so many of us were told whether or not we were essential or non-essential employees. Well, this time these government workers get to be told whether or not they are, and if they're not very essential, it looks like somebody might be coming for their job. That's right, Russ Vought. He's been called the Grim Reaper of Capitol Hill. In fact, Trump is sharing memes about him, and those aren't the only memes that he's sharing. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one that has the left in a fit of consternation. That's right, they've accused him of being
no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
And the left, they got very mad about that. Instead of just, ignoring it and moving on. It's a funny joke. I don't know if it's that offensive, but they called him, racist or something like that. The reality is that the reason that Trump shared this meme, this very funny little AI video that he generated, is because the reason that this government shutdown is going on in the first place is because Democrats won't pass a continuing resolution. That's right, we don't actually have a new budget. We're continuing on an old one, and we've been doing so for a pretty long time now. It's actually standard Washington, D.C. BS. And in the past, they passed a certain budget that everybody had agreed on. So the continuing resolution that just says, hey, we're going to do exactly what we did before with no changes until we agree on a new budget. That's what's called a clean CR, a clean continuing resolution. That's what the Republicans have introduced this time around, and everybody agrees that it's a clean CR, but that's not good enough for the Democrats. In fact, the Democrats are angry because the One Big Beautiful Bill implemented safeguards to prevent illegal aliens from receiving Medicaid. Now, shutdown Schumer has a $1.5 trillion proposal that would repeal that measure. That's right, Democrats want you to bankroll illegal immigrants' health care. And that's the reason the shutdown's going down entirely in the first place. But thankfully, memes aside, with Russ Vought potentially going around and cutting the jobs of some of these non-essential workers, Russ Vought, for those of you who don't know, he's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. That's the OMB. These are the guys who essentially do the business of doing the business of running things. Usually it's a pretty low-key office because usually they never want to cut the state, they only want to grow it. But now the Office of Management and Budget is going to be actually managing all the things that they're budgeting for and taking a look at who of these employees is just hanging on to hang on thanks to you, taxpayer. And the reason people are in such a fit is because Russ Vought, he was one of these Heritage Foundation guys that was a key player in developing what they called Project 2025, which at its heart was essentially a plan to cut down and streamline government. And that's exactly what members of the deep state don't want to happen. So you could see why they're suddenly very afraid. But Why won't they just pass the CR? Why are they so concerned about working toward illegal immigrants? Honestly, some of the things that Democrats do only make sense if you view them through the lens that America is evil and everything that we've ever done throughout history as an American nation is evil, and America as it is now only exists to rectify the harms of our past imperial experiments gone wrong. Which is obviously gibberish, but it is what they believe, and what they do makes a lot more sense if you understand that. But one thing that isn't going to be shut down, thank goodness, is our efforts to deport all of those illegal immigrants that the Democrats are trying to fund. Sayonara. Was that racist to me? So immigration, customs enforcement, and Customs and Border Patrol, these guys have been working overtime in some of America's most overrun cities. They haven't done that much work out here in San Diego, though, and I'm telling you, they could stay busy down here. But they were up in Chicago over the weekend, and while they were conducting an operation there, well, I'll just go ahead and read you directly from the post. Now, this is from Tricia McLaughlin, and Tricia is the Deputy Secretary. Let me get her title right. She's the Assistant Secretary to the Department of Homeland Security, so she should probably know what she's talking about more or less. And this is a real Homeland Security issue, because what she's talking about is essentially an act of domestic terror, left-wing domestic terror against immigration authorities. So Tricia posted, and she posted this on Saturday. This morning, during routine patrolling in Broadview, in the same area of Chicago that law enforcement were assaulted yesterday, our brave law enforcement officers were rammed by vehicles and boxed in by 10 cars. Agents were unable to move their vehicles and exited the car. One of the drivers who rammed the law enforcement vehicle was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. Law enforcement was forced to deploy their weapons and fire defensive shots at an armed U.S. citizen who drove herself to the hospital to get care for wounds. The armed woman was named in a Customs and Border Patrol intelligence bulletin last week for doxing agents, which is posting agents' identity and maybe even their home addresses, and posting online, hey to, quote, hey to all of my gang, let's fuck those motherfuckers up and don't let them take anyone. Thankfully, no law enforcement officers were seriously injured in this attack. Pritzker's Chicago Police Department is leaving the shooting scene and refuses to assist us in securing the area. There is a growing crowd, and we're deploying special operations to control the scene. This is an evolving situation, and we'll give more information as soon as it becomes available. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel, he posted out, right after that, the FBI is going to be looking into it, and the news actually gets even darker from there. Now, this could be potentially connected to this that we just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Alleged members of Chicago's street gang charged with soliciting the murder of senior law enforcement official involved in Operation Midway Blitz, which is the operation to deport all of these illegal immigrants, and obviously for a good reason, because this sounds like cartel Mexico, quite frankly. This sounds like third world madness right here on the streets. I mean, they call it Chirac, but really, a Customs and Border Patrol car getting boxed in by 10 vehicles and then engaging with a woman armed with an assault with a semi-automatic gun. I mean, this is absolute insanity that we're dealing with here. And what's crazy is that this is on the tails of so much left-wing political violence that we've seen lately. So much. Oh, that's great. It's really terrible stuff that we're dealing with here. It's really terrible stuff. So another thing that I actually want to draw your guys' attention to, this is obviously an ongoing situation. Trump has deployed the National Guard into Chicago. He should have. It's good that he did, but obviously some people are bent out of shape about it. Oh no, don't use law enforcement to enforce the law, while local law enforcement, probably under order, is refusing to do so. They left the scene, refused to secure the scene. And this while Customs and Border Patrol agents are getting boxed in like this is a Sicario or something. It's madness. It's absolute madness. So no, we obviously need the National Guard in this situation. But the problem is that we've had so many failures from federal law enforcement. We just saw more from secret security, right? So we saw, obviously, Trump got shot. That was a pretty massive failure. But then we learned, and we just learned this, right? So this is came out, I want to say, a couple of weeks ago, but back in August, Secret Service actually failed to catch somebody who was going into Trump's golf club holding a gun, right? And this is somebody who had a gun on them, probably in their golf bag or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what their intent was. It might have just been somebody with a concealed carry who didn't realize the president was there, but he was there that day. This person slipped through security with a gun on them. And this isn't the only time. So now we have another incident. This from just a couple of days ago. Look at this. Fantastic. NYPD detective on sick leave allegedly snuck into the Ryder Cup with a gun in full tactical gear, claiming, so this is worse than somebody who had a gun in their bag thinking like, oh, I have my concealed carry, I can just carry this on me. This is somebody who snuck in full tactical gear, claiming he was Trump's security. So that's like something out of one of those 90s assassin movies with like Will Smith in it. Like, what's the one, The Jackal? Like you see someone pretending they're with the security and walk in with the suit on incognito and then leave and then take off the glasses and the mustache really quick and put on some cool sunglasses and a Yankees cap and then blend into the crowd, right? After killing someone, obviously. And this is potentially what we could have had happen here. So NYPD detective on sick leave, obviously sick in at least one way, snuck into the Ryder Cup with a gun, full tactical gear, claiming he was Trump's security. This is according to the New York Post. Detective Melvin Ang successfully made it into the tournament by claiming he was Trump's security. Ang also claimed he was working for the feds. Ang was discovered and kicked out after he dropped a magazine on the ground. The detective is now facing administrative charges for theft of services. So the only reason he was found out is because he absolutely fumbled the moment and dropped a magazine from his pistol onto the ground. That's crazy. If this is someone, a professional killer, who was trying to do harm to the president, it sounds like he very well could have. And this is what's happened multiple times now. We've had people who are rank amateurs be able to get very, very close to the president or to important people. And we keep hearing that Iran wants to assassinate President Trump, and China has all these sleeper cell agents in the United States. And the reality is that we're dealing with very, very low-level threats right now, and we're coming up short. And when we start dealing with high-level threats, we need to be aware that we have some major gaps in our security. And I advise everybody watching this, quite frankly, you need to be aware as well, right? And I'm old enough to remember 9/11, and quite frankly, if you weren't, you should be aware that, you know, this thing could happen anywhere. It could happen at any mall. Look at what happens in Europe. They drive cars into crowds and hop out and start shooting people. And this could be Islamists, or this could be leftists, or this could just be a random crazy person. But if you are like me, if you're a responsible human being, like a decent person who has a couple of brain cells to rub together, I suggest that you keep your family safe, keep your head on a swivel, and stay safe out there. And if you like this message, if you want to keep getting more information like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this info with a friend. Thanks for watching.